Welcome to this session on the understanding the safety data sheet. As you can see in the screen in front of you, which is understanding and applying the safety data sheets. As we are working in the bike repair workshop, so we are surrounded with the chemicals around us, and the objectives of learning in this session will be should be able to understand the relevant safety data sheet. We should be identifying the chemical properties that are key to any chemical, identifying the potential health hazards, learning and applying the safe handling procedures, safe storage procedures, find and apply first aid if there is some sort of emergency. So as we start with the session, I give you the session plan for this. So this is the session plan that you can refer to.
Yep.
So what are the hazardous chemicals? Can you give me an example of an hazardous chemical that you find in your workshop?
Cleaning agent,
Cleaning agent, cleaning solvent.
containing any hydrochloric acid or
Yeah.
acidic or alkaline cleaning agents.
Yeah, it can be the brake fluid. It basically are the paints, the degrees which are the most, you can say, the most dangerous
Yeah.
ones, because they are basically the acids that are there used to remove all the
Yeah.
stains and all the oils and everything there.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the importance of referring to the SDS? What is the importance of an SDS? What does come to your mind?
I think it provides the information about the hazards related to that specific chemical or the product.
Yeah, it provides a detailed information about all the potential hazards that are present with a chemical, with the use of a chemical. It is a good practice to refer to the safety data sheet as soon as you find something new in the workshop, some new chemical. So it is a very good idea and good practice to familiarize yourself with the safety data sheet of that chemical. So you get to know what are the precautions that you should be going with. And it ensures the workplace, the safety of you and your colleague and everyone around. And then, under the WHS laws of all the states and Western Australia in our case, it is a legal obligation to be well versed with the safety data sheet of the chemical that we are dealing with. And it provides us a crucial information about the potential hazards. For example, there can be skin irritation due to cleaner. There can be flammability of sprays.
Yeah.
Now I'm providing you the safety data sheet, which is here for you.
Yeah.
This is for the product which is called Chemtech Workshop Heavy Duty Degreaser. So if you go to the last page of it, can you tell me how many sections are there in this data sheet?
Total 16.
Yeah, 16 sections. And in every safety data sheet, there will be 16 sections, and they are globally harmonized. The safety data sheet for the same chemical that you find here will be the same as you find elsewhere in the world, throughout the world. So it's globally harmonized. It is internationally recognized. It conveys the hazard information. It has information that ranges from chemical identity to the environmental impact. And because it has to be used by the layman who is not very well versed in the chemical or chemistry, so what do you think? What should safety data sheet should be? It should be having the sophisticated and complicated words, or should be clear and straightforward?
It should be clear and straightforward.
Yeah, it should be clear, and so is the SDS. It is clear and straightforward, and it is basically meant for anyone who is working with a chemical, working near a chemical, or exposed to the hazardous chemical in one way or another. Now, when we have to access the safety data sheet, what is the most evident source of accessing the safety data sheet that comes to your mind when you are working with the
Sourcing the SDS.
yeah, accessing the SDS?
Yeah, accessing the SDS, the manufacturer's website.
Yeah, but the best thing is the manufacturer or the supplier's website.
Yeah.
Then in our workshop there is the intranet from where you can get the latest version of the safety data sheet. And the third thing is the physical register.
Yeah.
We have a register from where you can just get it, and you can you can get the relevant SDS if there is some need of that.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to the last page of the SDS, you see it shows the revision number. In the section 16, which is the other information, it shows the revision number. It is either on the last page or on the first page, but in our SDS, if you go to the bottom of the page, it shows the issue date,
Yeah.
which is, can you tell me what is the date of issue of this SDS?
8/4/2025.
Yeah, exactly. And then there is a version number. Just next to that, you can find the
Yeah, that's
version.
the version 1.1.
Yeah. So the important consideration when dealing with an SDS is that it has to be current.
Yeah.
It should be of the latest version, and it is basically periodically updated. It is obligation on the manufacturer that he has to update the SDS periodically, maybe after 5 years, because there are some new potential hazards that we come to know of when we use the chemical. There may be some other health risks of if the chemical seeps into the environment. There may be some other things,
if the formulation changes or something,
Yeah,
it
formulation
triggers
changes.
other hazards or something.
Yeah.
They will update
So,
it.
for the revision number, to know if the SDS is current, you have to either go to the page 1, the first page,
Yeah.
or you go to the section 16, which is the last one, which you can see here.
Yeah.
And in our case, you can see on the page 1, and actually they have put up in all the pages on the bottom. It shows the date of issue and the version number.
Yeah.
So now moving further, it has to be accessible. Is there any benefit of an SDS? For example, you get an emergency with some of the colleagues, and you want to get the SDS, but it is locked. Does it make some sense that the SDS is locked and you don't have the keys to the SDS? Does it make some sense?
No, it should be unlocked.
It should be unlocked.
accessible. Yeah.
So it should be readily accessible,
Mm.
and it should be quickly retrievable in case of an emergency, and unlocked for free use, because this is not a kind of a classified document which has to be kept under the lock.
Yeah.
It has to be free to use just for anyone, and it should be understandable by the workers. The language should be simple. And in case of Western Australia, where we live, what should be the language of the safety data sheet?
Obviously English.
Yeah, obviously it should be English.
Yeah.
So it should be in the local language where the chemical has to be used. So in our case, it is English.
Yeah.
Now, when we navigate through the safety data sheet, as you see, there are 60 sections into this.
Yeah.
And do you think, in our case, if there are 50 chemicals, so they become the 50 safety data sheets. So do you think we have to cram and remember all of them by heart?
No.
No, we don't need to, because we can't.
Yeah, we can't.
And there is no need, and for that reason the SDS is there. It has to be.
That's the reason why we have to go and access it.
Yeah.
It is related to the specific chemical.
Yeah, for that reason it is provided in the intranet. For that reason it is provided in the register at the workshop. So what you need to know is how to use them.
Yeah.
And you will be learning how to locate the information that you are looking for, that is relevant to a certain situation in case of an emergency. And basically there are some critical informations, there are some critical sections that you should be well versed about, that how to look for them and how to interpret that.
Yeah.
So if you go to the safety data sheet that I have provided you, in the section 1 it is about identification. So it tells you about the product name, the uses of the product, and the details of the supplier. So can you find these details in the safety data sheet that you have got?
Yeah.
So can you tell me the name of the product?
Chemtech workshop heavy duty degreaser.
Yeah, right. And what is the recommended use?
General purpose degreaser.
Yeah, right. And it also gives the detail of the supplier,
Yeah.
his avian status, and all the things that you may need in case of an emergency. If you have to speak to them, you can speak through these details. If you are unsure about anything about this chemical.
Yeah.
So this is the identification. Moving to the second section, which is hazards identification. So it shows you the GHS pictograms.
Yeah.
And can you find a pictogram here in your SDS?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, there is a pictogram. And then the second thing is the signal words. What is the signal word in SDS?
Danger.
Danger, yeah. So there is a danger using with these chemicals, we have to be careful. And then there are the hazard statements. What are the hazard statements there?
It's H290,
Yeah.
H315 and H318.
Yeah. And what does H290 means?
Maybe corrosive to metals.
Metals, yeah. So this way we can read this. And this is a critical section. So after this there comes the precautionary statements. So in our case there are many kinds of precautionary statements. Can you just pronounce their name? What are those?
It's a P102.
Yeah. I mean, the first one is prevention precautionary statements.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is keeping out of the reach of the children,
Yeah.
and so on. Then the second one is a response precautionary statement.
Yeah.
And one of them is if on skin wash with plenty of water and salt.
Yeah.
And then you move further, it is storage precautionary statement, store in a corrosive resistant insert appropriate compatible material container with a resistant inner liner. And then disposal precautionary statements, which is not allocated, poison schedule. What does that say?
S5.
Caution.
Yeah.
And dangerous goods classification, and the last one is dangerous goods class.
Yeah.
So with this we move to the third one, which is the composition information on ingredients.
Yeah.
It tells you the chemical identity of the SDS and in what concentration it is. So what is the first chemical that you can find in under the chemical
It's
identity?
the sodium metasilicate pentahydrate.
Pentahydrate, yeah. And what is the proportion of it?
5 to 10%.
5 to 10%, yeah. And so on with the other chemicals that are there in this mixture. Now going for the first aid measures, which is the fourth section. Now it tells you about the symptoms that you can find if someone inhales or someone swallows the chemical. So it tells you about the symptoms and it gives you information about the critical treatment. And this also is immediate treatment, and this is also a critical section of the SDS. So can you find out what does it say for the inhalation?
If we inhale, remove victim from exposure, avoid becoming a casualty.
Yeah. For the skin contact, it says if skin or hair contact occurs, immediately remove contaminated clothing and flush skin and hair with running water. For the eye contact, it says immediately irrigate with copious quantities of water for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it also gives you information about the PPE for first aiders. What does that say?
PPE.
Yeah.
Wear coveralls, gloves, face shield,
and so on.
That's all.
And it also has the notes for the physician.
Yeah.
Traits symptomatically can cause
corneal burns.
Corneal burns, yeah, right. Now moving further with the fifth section, which is firefighting measures, it tells you what are the suitable extinction media and specific hazards from the chemical in terms of fire. So, what is the HAZChem code for this chemical?
It's 2x.
Yeah, 2x. And what are the specific hazards?
Non-combustible material.
Yeah, it's non-combustible material.
Yeah.
So firefighting for the advice is not applicable for that reason.
Yeah.
Moving to the sixth section, which is accidental release measures, it tells us about the emergency procedures that we have to follow if there is a spill and how to contain and clean up. So for the small spills, what does it say?
Wear protective equipment to prevent skin and eye contamination.
Yeah. Avoid inhalation of vapors or dust.
Yeah.
Wipe out with absorbent, clean rag or paper towels. Collect and seal in properly labeled containers or drums for disposal.
Yeah.
Right? So this was the sixth section. Now the seventh section, which is critical, it is about handling and storage.
Yeah.
So it tells about the safe handling practices and storage conditions and incompatibilities. Incompatibilities means the chemicals with which it can't be stored. It can react with them and produce something that is hazardous. So under the heading of handling, what do you find?
Handling and storage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Handling, avoid eye contact and skin,
Skin contact.
contact. Avoid inhalation of vapors, mist, or aerosols.
Aerosols. And under storage, what do you find?
Store in a cool, dry, well ventilated place and out of direct sunlight and so on.
And so on.
Yeah.
Now moving for the eighth one, which again is the critical section, exposure controls or personal protection.
Yeah.
It gives us information about the engineering controls we should have in place in order to keep the hazards away. And it also gives us information about the PPE recommendations.
Yeah.
So it shows the national exposure limits. And for the Prepinol, which is the first thing into this, the first chemical under this, what is the TWA in ppm?
ppm 50.
And for milligram per meter cube, it is
308.
yeah 300, right? And further in the SDS, it tells you what the TWA means. It is the time weighted average A1 concentration over an 8-hour working day or a 5-day working week or an entire working life, right? And so on for the definition of other things, all the abbreviations that they have used.
Yeah.
It also gives you the information about the biological limit values and the engineering measures. And then for the personal protection equipment, what are the equipment that you have to use?
Overalls, gloves, and face
Face
shield.
shield, right.
Yeah.
And it also gives the information about them. It also gives the information about the hygiene measures that are there. So now moving to the ninth one, which is physical and chemical properties. It tells about us about the appearance, the odor, the pH value, the flash point, and the boiling point.
Yeah.
So you can find here a table. What is the form of this liquid?
It's a green liquid and
Liquid
color as well.
Color is green.
Yeah, green liquid.
And what is the boiling point?
Not applicable.
Yeah, it's not
There's
applicable. No boiling point for this liquid. The pH is, as you can find,
10.5.
5, right.
For that.
So now moving to the 10th section, which is stability and reactivity. So it tells us the condition that we have to avoid the materials that are incompatible with it and hazardous decomposition material. If it mixes with something, if it decomposes, what are the products that it will make after decomposition? So what are the conditions to avoid for this chemical, as you can find from the SDS?
Elevated temperatures and the sources of
Ignition.
Yeah.
And incompatible materials?
Oxidizing
Agents.
Yeah.
Oxidizing agents. And for the hazardous reactions, it says
No known hazardous
reactions,
Yeah.
right. So moving to the 11th one, which is toxicological information, which is the critical one. It tells us about the routes of exposure, the symptoms that are there, acute and chronic health effects, right? So under the acute effects, under inhalation, what is there?
Inhalation material may be an irritant to mucous membrane and the respiratory tract.
And what under the skin contact?
Contact with skin may result in irritation.
And acute toxicity under inhalation, what can you find?
This material has been classified as not hazardous for acute inhalation exposure. And they have the LC50 values there.
Yeah, the values for the
Yeah.
acute toxicity estimate, right? And as for the aspiration for the chronic toxicity, it shows mutagenicity.
Yeah.
This material has been classified as not a mutagen.
Yeah.
And what does it say under the carcinogenicity?
This material has been classified as not a carcinogen.
Yeah, not a carcinogen.
Yeah.
And so on. It shows about the reproductive
Yeah.
toxicity as well.
Yeah.
Moving further, it also gives information about the specific target organ toxicity, and it says that this material has been classified as not a specific hazard to target organs by repeat exposure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now going to the 12th one, which is ecological information. What are the environmental impacts of this material? And under this, what do we find under the acute aquatic hazard?
This material has been classified as not hazardous for acute
Aquatic exposure.
exposure. Yeah.
And it also gives information about the long-term aquatic hazard,
Yeah.
ecotoxicity, which says no information available, persistence and degradability,
Yeah.
bioaccumulative potential, and mobility.
Yeah.
Okay. Now moving to the section 13, disposal consideration.
Yeah.
Safe disposal method that we have to go for when, and what does that say?
Persons conducting disposal, recycling, or reclamation
Reclamation.
activities should ensure that appropriate personal protection equipment is used. See, refer to section 8,
Yeah.
exposure controls and PPE.
Yeah,
of
because
this
even if the material is waste, still it has gone
Yes, yeah.
over the hazard that was there.
Yeah.
So you still have to go to the section 8 in order to know
Yeah.
what is the PPE considerations that you have to go with when you are going to
when
dispose
they
this bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was section 13. Now that section 14 is transport information.
Yeah.
It shows the information about the UN number, which you can find there. And what is the UN number?
1760.
Yeah. Then it shows the proper shipping name, and the shipping name is
Corrosive liquid.
NOS contains
contains
sodium
sodium
hydroxide.
hydroxide. Yeah.
And transport hazard class.
Transport as a class is like what do you mean transport as a class like
It shows the proper shipping name.
should be
It shows the dangerous goods class, which is
oh
8.
DG8.
Yeah, it's 8.
Yeah.
Okay. For the 15, which is regulatory information, it tells about the safety regulations that it adheres to, the health regulations and the environmental regulations to which this product has to is adhering to, and which we have to take into account when we are dealing with this product. So, over the first heading that and what does that say?
Under the regulatory information,
Yeah,
is this material is not subject to the following international agreements.
agreements. And what are those?
Montreal Protocol,
Protocols, then
Stockholm Convention,
Convention, and
the,
so on.
the Rotterdam Convention,
And so on.
and so on. Yeah.
So, now going to the last section, which you can find.
16.
There you will find information regarding the date of preparation and revision. And it also gives you information about the key to abbreviations. And here you can't find any key to abbreviations because they have not used any abbreviation, and wherever they have used abbreviation, they have clarified that in that section itself. So what are the reasons for issue of this?
It's just revised format change.
Yeah, revised format change. So these are the 16 sections that you can find here. And before we move to the conclusion
Yeah.
of this session, of this what we have learned, there is a record of attendance sheet that you have to fill up. And it's a pen for you, please.
Is it the learner?
Yeah, the second learner too.
Yeah.
So tick over there.
Yeah.
You tick. Okay. So moving further. Okay. And then there is the evaluation form that you have to fill up. And once we are done with this, then we will just make the conclusion over this.
Yeah. Should I just cross it?
Yeah, you can just cross your ticket, whatever you wish to have. You can seek my help if you need some clarification.
No, I'm just going through.
Yeah, you can go through
section,
that.
if that's okay. Yeah.
You can just take it there.
This one?
Yeah, you can take it. Yeah.
Can I take it here too?
Yeah, so things are easy. You can put it.
Yeah.
Right. Jonathan?
Yeah.
Thank you. So now, if you get into an emergency and you have the SDS with you,
Yeah.
what section of the SDS you will quickly go if you get into an emergency? So someone is in emergency and you have to respond.
Yeah. It's section 4 first aid measures.
Yeah, the first aid measure.
Yeah.
And the very first thing, if you have not seen the SDS before for this chemical for around which this whole emergency is revolving around, so and you do not know what to do, how to do, I mean, you do not have that proper knowledge. In that case, you do not need to self-diagnose because this is the work of a physician. And if you are well versed with the SDS, that's a different story. But if you are not well versed with the SDS and you do not know the symptoms, so you should not be diagnosing on your own and or start treating on your own if you do not know about it, if you do not have the proper knowledge. And if you are not involved in the diagnosis and treatment, the very good thing that you can do is what you can do then. I mean, if you can't treat the person who has got the chemical inhaled or swallowed or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
so what you gonna do if you can't treat the person or you can't diagnose or you can't treat?
Be aware of the section 4 helps them in treating effectively,
Yeah.
or contact the emergency personnel described
Yeah,
on
we
the
have to-
first aid measures.
You have to keep the safety data sheet readily
Yeah,
available.
of course, yeah.
So that the first responders or the paramedics or
And
the
personnel.
medical personnel, they can immediately
Oh, yes,
use,
yeah.
they can refer to that.
Yeah.
And this section 4 is going to help them treat it effectively.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware of the first aid kit, you have to make that
Mhm.
available, and the washing station, because
Yeah.
the very first thing in terms of the equipment is the first aid kit and the washing station.
Yeah.
Because you may be more or less you may be using the washing station in order to remove and flush off all the chemicals that was there, if it is on the eye or the skin like that.
Yeah.
If someone has swallowed it, that's a different story. Then they will be I mean they will be dealing it with, treating it differently.
Yeah.
And now, as a conclusion, once we have done this, now you must have developed a strong understanding of what is the importance of the SDS and how to use an SDS effectively.
Yeah.
Right? Now we are heading to the last part of our learning, which is the key takeaways. As you know, the safety data sheets contains vital information for your safety and the safety of everyone around in the workplace. This safety data sheet is not applicable not only to the permanent employees but to the casual employees, the workers as well as the supervisor, the managers, also someone who visits the facility for some reason, for any reason. It is basically for everyone, and we have to learn to access it quickly. And what are the critical sections that you can find for your safety data sheets?
Section 2, Section 4, Section 7, 8, and 11.
11. And if you have to apply the safe handling storage procedures, use PPE as guided in the SDS and acquire first aid knowledge of the chemicals.
Yeah.
So with this, we are finished with our session. Thank you for joining this session.
Thank you for the information provided. It's very good learning curve, learning about the safety data sheet
Thank you
and
so
the
much.
information provided in that.
Thank you so much.